Llangollen is a picturesque town situated in Denbighshire, Wales. A small community, it has a population of around 3,700, but being a popular tourist town, it attracts quite a number of visitors during the summer season. In 1990, a well-loved member of this small community was a local antique shop owner named Trevaline Evans. A native of the town, 52-year-old Trevaline Evans had been born there in 1937. She'd married her husband Richard in 1958 and opened up her small collectibles shop sometime later. One bright summer's day, on the morning of the 16th of June 1990, Trevaline arrived at her shop, which is now known as Attic Antiques on Church Street, to prepare for the day ahead. People who saw Trevaline that day reported that she seemed happy, relaxed, and had been talking of plans to go out in the evening. Many of these people were locals who visited the shop frequently and knew Trevaline, so did not notice anything off in her demeanour that day. At around 12:40 p.m, she briefly left her shop to get something to eat, leaving a note in her shop window that she would be back in 2 minutes. She purchased an apple and a banana from a shop on the high street and was then spotted crossing Castle Street. Sadly, this would be the last time that Trevaline Evans would ever be seen. Trevaline's husband Richard was away from home at the time, renovating their holiday bungalow in Rhuddlan, approximately 40 miles away. Trevaline had spent a few days there herself but had returned on Wednesday the 13th of June in order to open up the shop. On the evening of the 16th of June, Richard had tried in vain to contact his wife by telephone at their home, and after having received no reply on several occasions, he phoned a family friend and neighbour to ask them to call by the house to see if everything was okay. When the neighbour called back and told Richard that Trevaline was not at home, he became very worried and asked if the search could be extended to the antique shop. The neighbour went by the shop, and that's when things began to unfold. Discovering the shop was locked up with the note still in the window, and Trevaline's car, a dark blue Ford Escort Estate, parked just along the road, the concerned neighbour phoned Richard back, and it was decided that the police should be called. The initial police inquiry focused a lot on the days between Trevaline's return to Llangollen and her disappearance. The police spent hundreds of hours taking over 330 statements from every single household in the area. Some 700 cars were all checked and eliminated from the investigation. Police later estimated that between 9:30 a.m. when Trevaline opened the shop and when she left at 12:40 p.m, approximately 30 people had been in and spoken with Mrs. Evans. In 1990, CCTV was in use in shops and businesses, but not to the level that we know of it today, and so it was not so easy for the police to track Trevaline's movements from that day. They had a statement from the market trader where Trevaline bought her apple and banana, but were unable to state with certainty if she had returned to the shop at all. A banana skin was later found in the waste bin at the shop, but there is a possibility that she had eaten one earlier in the day and in fact never returned after her brief outing. It seems unlikely that she ever did make it back to the shop, as locals that knew Trevaline said that the first thing she would have done would have been to remove the note from the shop window. The police also spoke to a local shopkeeper who told them that Trevaline had been in his shop that morning on the 16th of June to buy some milk, and he had noticed that when she opened her purse, she had a considerable amount of cash in there. Curiously, this money was not in her purse later in the day, and the cash had not been banked. This money was never recovered. Witness statements said that on the 14th of June, just 2 days before her disappearance, Trevaline had been seen with a smartly dressed, grey-haired man in her shop. Again, on the 15th of June, she was reportedly seen walking through the town with the same man. He was wearing a smart suit and carrying a briefcase. To add to the mystery, 2 tourists contacted police and told them that they had seen Trevaline in a wine bar drinking in the company of a smartly dressed grey-haired man. Unfortunately, This unknown man has never been traced and has never come forward in order to be eliminated as a suspect. An artist's impression of this man in a blazer apparently seen in her company was drawn up and circulated during the investigation in 1990. However, it had failed to bring anyone forward and was later disregarded as no longer accurate by officers in 2001. It was suggested that perhaps Trevaline had been having some kind of affair, but surely, knowing that her husband was well known in the town, as were her family, she would have been a little more discreet. Although locals dismissed the idea of an affair as preposterous, there was a large bunch of flowers inside the shop, of which there was no evidence of Trevaline buying, along with her jacket and purse. It was said that she was happily married, but the couple had one car and her husband was left somewhere close to 40 miles away. The local canal, mine shafts and caves were searched in the hunt for Trevaline. Divers even scoured the River Dee, but there was simply no sign of the shop owner. BBC Crime Watch took up on the search and ran 2 appeals in hopes that someone may know something. However, once again, they drew a blank. Detective Chief Inspector Colin Edwards said in 1992, "How a happily married woman could vanish without a trace on a sunny Saturday afternoon in a busy town centre is simply baffling. It is, without a doubt, the strangest inquiry I have ever dealt with." Trevaline's husband Richard offered a reward of £5,000 for information relating to his wife's disappearance, in a hope that the money may draw someone out that held the important clues. He also made a public appeal in which he said that Trevaline doted on her elderly father and would not have left him behind, but still no new information came. After 2 years of investigation, appeals and searches, police still had no clue as to the whereabouts of Trevaline Evans, and they announced that they believed that Trevaline had been lured away somehow, possibly by someone that she knew, or at least believed she knew. They said that they did not believe the missing woman to still be alive. She was not declared as legally dead, however, until 1997. By 2001, forensic science had progressed considerably, so the case was reviewed, and it was here that Richard Evans was arrested. However, he had a rock-solid alibi in that he was miles away at the couple's holiday bungalow, and several witnesses confirmed this. They said that they had seen him there on the day in question. He was released without charge, and Trevaline's brother told the media that he believed her to have been abducted. Richard Evans sadly died in 2015 at the age of 83, never having known what happened to his wife. Police even looked into the possible connection between her disappearance and the convicted serial killer, Robin Lingus, who was convicted of killing 3 men, one of which was an antiques dealer only 30 miles away from Trevaline's shop, but this was later ruled out. In 2019, 2 brothers, Andy and Lee Sutton, suddenly came forward to the police, saying that they believed that Trevaline had been murdered and her body buried under the floor of the Rutland Golf Club. On March the 19th of 2019, the police began to excavate the club, but no remains were ever found. To date, there is still no concrete evidence to indicate what happened to the antique shop owner back in 1990, and no trace of Trevaline Evans has ever been found. Strangely, in recent years, a memorial bench seems to have been placed in an unofficial memorial to Trevaline Evans, alongside the Prestatyn to Dysurf Walkway, approximately 30 miles from Llangollen, where Trevaline was last seen. According to locals, the plaque was not authorised to be fixed to the council-owned bench, and the reason for it being placed there has now become something of a puzzle to the walkers that stroll through the area, and also to the police. The inscription reads, "In memory of Trevaline Evans, vanished on the 16th of the 6th, 1990, found in Rutland, GC, 14th of the 3rd, 2019, removed 19th of the 3rd, 2019, RIP." It suggests that her body or remains were found at the Rudland Golf Club in March of 2019, but there is certainly no official record of this, and the police deny any such finding. This plaque was fixed to the bench, but has since been badly defaced. Interestingly, other similar benches in memory of other local people have not been damaged. Speaking on the 25th anniversary of her disappearance in 2015, Trevaline's brother Leonard remains desperate to discover what became of his sister, stating, "I have never lost hope that something will turn up." He added, "I remember the Saturday she went missing as if it was yesterday. If you asked me what I'd been doing a fortnight before, or even yesterday, I couldn't tell you, but that day I'll never forget." In 2022, another mysterious message was found on another bench 30 miles away from Trevaline's hometown of Llangollen. The inscription on this one was scrawled on a plaque, and is remarkably similar to the message found before. The plaque read, "Justice awaits those responsible for the removal and disposal of Trevaline Evans in this life or next, from Rudland Golf Club on March the 19th of 2019 at noon. May the Lord have mercy upon their soul." North Wales Police have confirmed that Trevaline Evans' case remains open, but the investigation is not currently active.